Hey there folks, I'm Dan Brown from sortofinterestinglife.com. You're joining me on board good old Narrowboat Tilly, and as many of you may know, I like to try and go out for a few little short walks throughout the day if I'm just on the boat doing videos or writing or so on. So, I suppose without further ado, let's dive straight in and let's go for a little short walk. Right, here we go. So this is our starting off point, just up from the Frankton Locks, which we will be getting to very shortly in this video. And our main route is going to be to walk back to that bridge just in the background, hop over the fence and just wander through a couple of fields. These are exactly the sorts of walks that I absolutely love, and these are, when I say, as I just said in that introduction, when I'm doing a lot of just sitting down at a desk writing or editing or whatever it happens to be on that particular day, then these are exactly, I mean, this is the perfect example of such a walk that I love to do, and it's basically just to stretch me back and stop me seizing up now that I'm an old man and so on. What you're going to see a lot of in this video is, again, something that until I had the boat a couple of years ago, I have always loved me walking and so on. But being able to moor up somewhere like this, right next to these little walking paths and rights away through fields, that there's really not much reason that anybody would ever be walking out in this area, which leads to these random, really old styles. And well, you can see you've got your little beam bridge there, and it's hardly as if it's been worn away to a smooth surface from millions and millions of people walking across it. Obviously, millions is a ridiculous exaggeration in any circumstance. But I love little things like this as well, where you've got a style here and another one in this same field that don't even have a fence attached to them, so you can just walk straight around them. And equally, looking just along here, you can see, whereas a lot of places where I walk, where their main proper routes that a lot of people go to, either to and from towns, there's little short circulars and so on, another style with no fence, you can see that there's no worn away ground and no clearly defined marked path on these sections, as it is quite literally maybe a couple of people in a day. Well, I don't even think that, because I gotta say I haven't seen a single person while I've been moored up at that bridge actually come to or from that field, although admittedly I don't just sit in the boat looking at styles from a great distance all day long. And again, I just wanted to show a nice little detail here for a change, try and get the blossoms in focus, which I didn't really do, but oh well. And again, like I say, this is exactly the sort of thing that it's so lost, and places like this are just so numerous around even just Shropshire and Oswestry. I must apologise for my hay fever sound effects from my nose being blocked up here, but these are the places that are going to once, well, not too distant future, I don't think, going to be completely forgotten. And as different things come and go, and different rulings and different governments and different focuses on where money goes, I've got a feeling that you're going to start to see places like this. Just to note, we have rejoined a little road here, and we're just heading down to the bridge by the basin by the Frankton Locks on the lower side. But I can easily see these sorts of routes never really having any maintenance done, and basically becoming a right of way in terms of, yes, it's a technical right of way, but sooner or later in years to come you'll find all of styles broken and everything rotted away. And really, as I say this, I'm starting to think and picture in my mind different places where this has already started to happen in some of these more completely obscure and abstract spots. And there's some places where this is the basin that used to go to Shrewsbury down that arm, but it literally only goes just to 100 foot or so past the little red brick building. Random fact just dropped in here. But it's quite interesting when I do think, actually, there's some places where I assume that the rights of way are removed and changed and altered, and so on a lot of maps, obviously, if you actually buy a proper physical paper map, that's never going to be updated unless you get your pens out and start drawing on it yourself. So there's been times where I've turned up and cannot for the life of me see where I'm meant to be going in terms of an actual proper designated walking route, and there's certainly been plenty of slightly off-route fence climbing and hedge scrambling and goodness knows what else over the years. Ultimately, though, as we're just down at the Frankton Locks now on the very bottom side and we're about to walk up them, it's quite an interesting thing to, like I say, have this experience and this opportunity to get out and see some of these completely abstract places. And there's a lot of places where I take the boat where I've been for many, many years, walking and all the rest of it. But then somewhere like this, where I've been in the past and been fishing with my dad, apparently, but that's way out of my actual living memory. I can remember coming up and down and have vague memories of the locks themselves. But to suddenly have a boat moored up just around the corner from them, it's like, well, I'm going to be sat here for the next 5 days or so, might as well go exploring. And there's all sorts of different routes, and you can get over the fields to Ellesmere. It's about 3 or 4 miles, I think, to go down the towpath and down the or cut across fields to get there. But again, these are just the random things that you discover, and I'm happy to keep doing it and keep wandering and be as aimless as I can for an indefinite period. Ultimately, I suppose I will wrap things up now that we're heading back up the canal to Tilly. So thank you very much for watching. Feel free to check out my other videos for loads of boating, biking and outdoors in general. And of course, please do consider checking out my books available for the Kindle and goodness knows what else. There's loads of links in the description. I'm not going to go through all the usual plugs as this video's longer than I anticipated already. So I'll just say thank you very much for the support for everything. Until the next time, keep it bike-worthy. Oh no, that's the wrong one. Keep it boat-worthy, keep it boot-worthy, and farewell.